NASCAR on Fox is sponsored by Aaron's. Credit is hard, Aaron's is easy. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By Coca-Cola, it's time to refuel Coca-Cola. Open happiness. And by Pennzoil, pursuing the latest oil. Technology because we love cars just as much as you do.
160 laps complete. Brian Vickers continues to lead. His lead now cut back to 1.2 seconds. Vickers in a Toyota running his first race of the season.
Yeah, Vickers slowed down quite a bit the last few laps here. And I know this may not be a factor, but if I was Michael or anybody else that's working with Brian, I'd be a little bit worried about, can he take this pace? Not being in the car for a while. Got to keep an eye on that. Keep him freshened up, give him fluids, and be sure you keep him pumped up.
Brad Keselowski, last August's winner here in the night race, now down to within 1.1 seconds.
Our next driver here, Jeff Gordon at 24. When you see him running this strong, 162 laps into it, you know he's going to be a factor by the end of the day.
Matt Kenseth's Ford has come from 21st on the grid. 4 laps ago, he passed Dale Earnhardt Jr. to move up into 4th place. Dale Jr. started 18th and continues to run in the top 5. His lap times are about 1/10 of a second faster than the leaders. A.J. Allmendinger missed the pole in his number 22 by 1/1000th of a second, and a steadily run in the top 5 or so. Here's Jeff Burton in 6th. Burton did not pit on that first caution and jumped up to the top 5.
Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car. Last 2 races, 2 top 5 finishes after finishing 42nd at Daytona. On Tuesday, he will know the status of his crew chief Chad Knaus and car chief Ron Malik, just how many weeks he will be without them at the racetrack.
That's right. That's the final level of appeal. Greg Biffle, our pole sitter, working his way back toward the front, currently in 8th place, 7 seconds off the lead. And you're riding with Clint Boyer, who started 16th and has now climbed to 9th. And we saw A.J. Allmendinger a bit ago. We're going to see him again back here. He has slipped to 10th place.
Something's happening to that car.
We're in trouble. Just stay focused here, man. Get what you can get out of it. Not much we can do till we hit the pit road here. All clear. We hear you. All clear.
Krista?
A.J. Allmendinger came on the radio about lap 158 saying, we're in trouble, I am loose. Then asked the team, did you get all the wheels tight? They're worried possibly about a loose wheel, not just a loose race car. Also want to give you an update on Martin Truex. They were in the top 5. Now they're barely trying to hang on to the top dozen. Why? A slow pit stop. He told the team, do not give up all the position we gained on the track on pit road. Track position here is gold.
You cannot give up anything on pit stops here, that's for sure.
And right in that mix is Jamie McMurray, the 10th place car. Jamie started 17th in the number 1 Chevrolet.
Boy, it might be my imagination, but that 22 car looks like it's wobbling a little bit, wiggling a little bit.
Well, and Darrell, you know, she reported that possibly he thinks he may have a loose wheel.
Well, we've seen sun and we've seen shade, and the track condition seems to have changed a couple of times already, Jeff Hammond.
Yeah, Mike, it really has. From down here on top of the box, pit box, where it's really close to the track, we're noticing how it's buffering up. It's getting blacker and blacker all the way from the bottom to the top. And I talked to Paul Wolf, crew chief on Brad Keselowski, early this morning. That's exactly what they were planning on. Get him to where he can hang on for the first 150 to 200 laps, and the car would dial itself right back in where they were real happy at the end of practice yesterday afternoon.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, who would ever believe, Jeff, that we would go 174 laps into this race and we've only had those 2 cautions.
But watching the lap times, it's like about 10, 15 laps ago, somebody flipped a switch. We lost in the racetrack itself and the run that we're on right now about 3/10. All of a sudden, cars were slowing down. I don't know, from the track rubbering up, I think.
Sunshine and shade and slam bang. Of the 6 cars involved in that first incident, 5 of the 6, everybody but Carl Edwards, is back on the racetrack. Some of those cars look a little better than others. the lead. Brad Keselowski inside of the 55 of Brian Vickers. And the winner here last August, trying to double up at Bristol.
I kind of like the way Keselowski in the 2-car, he kind of diamonds a corner. He'll go in a little high, then he'll cut to the bottom. So it's almost the best of both worlds.
Brian Vickers heads our list of Toyota top performers at lap 187. Clint Boyer 9th, Truex 11th. Here's where they're running. The Food City people who've put on this race for the last 20 years hold a nice buffet for the drivers and some of the team personnel. And in the buffet line last night, I'm talking to Brad, and he'd tell everybody who'd listen, this is the best Cup car I've ever had here. He's proving it right now, Matt.
And Mike, about 25 laps ago, he said the same exact thing. He says, my car is unbelievably stable on entry, and the forward drive off is absolutely incredible. Paul Wills told him, I know you've got a fast car, but keep in mind, try to save your tires if you can, because we won't come for new ones until around lap 250.
Yeah, Matt, they're still quite a ways from what would be a green flag pit stop, probably a good 50, 60 laps from right now.
I tell you, he's working Brian Vickers into 55 over, though. He gets that run. He goes into the corner high right behind him and cuts to the bottom, tries to diamond the corner off a little bit. He's doing all he can. He wants that lead.
Keselowski trying to become the race's 5th different leader. Vickers has been out in front for 95 laps now. Allmendinger, Biffle have led. And on the pit stops, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the first around to the timing line and led a lap. Now, Tony Stewart, we saw him showing great patience earlier. Lately, not so much. Stewart's been mired back right around 15th place. He's 13th right now. And didn't show much patience getting past Eric Almirola. Gave him a little bump and run at turn 2. And he's climbed his way, scratched and clawed his way. Stewart has to 13.
I think if I was Keselowski, I would want to get going, because if you look in the mirror, you can see here on our screen, there's Tony moving the 43 of Almirola out of the way. You guys are holding me up, boy.
Well, then he got to David Stremme, who was a lapped car, and Stremme needed a little help.
Speaking of the 43, I want to say hello to Dale Inman, Hall of Famer, went in the Hall of Fame with me this year, and his wife Mary, giving our prayers and are with you guys today.
Riding here with Casey Mears. Keselowski still looking over Vickers for the lead. They're going to lap past Brendan Gaughan in the 33.
Well, the reason that Keselowski's getting a little impatient and he'd like to get around to 55, Jeff Gordon has caught these guys. You see him right there at the back of the picture. He's got a pretty good race car right now, Larry, and he's running some little bit better lap times than the 2 lead cars.
Yeah, actually, those 3 drivers in 3rd, 4th, and 5th are catching them. Boy, Matt Kenseth and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Gordon just threaded the needle.
That tells you that car really is good for Jeff. He can kind of go where he wants to.
Move past Casey Mears and Landon Castle. And Keselowski's backed off a bit from Vickers. He leaves Vickers to deal with David Rudiman, the lap car there. And Rudiman didn't like that so much.
Wonder why.
Would it have anything to do with that car that just lapped him?
I'm just saying.
You led me and I answered. That's the team actually David Rudiman drove for last year.
So Carl Edwards has a headset to listen on what's going on. They still want to see if they can get his 99 back on track to run a couple of laps. That would move him up a few spots in the order. 7th place. Clint Boyer taking it from Jimmy Johnson.
Clint Boyer's car is another one I think they really made some good adjustments, because when I looked up before that second caution, he was not that far from going a lap down.
You're exactly right, Larry, and he's made a nice run back up through the field and sitting there in 7th place right now. Mikey's got a car leading, got one 7th and one 11th. Nice job today, buddy. Heck, we only got 300 more laps to go.
How about Brian Vickers, Dick?
Well, he just got on the radio, Mike, and he told the crew that he's pushing a little bit too much. And the thing he's really worried about, though, and he was worried about it in the first run, is the right rear going away. He's concerned about that right rear tire. Vickers is having a terrific run today. Believe it or not, he has led more laps today than all of the past 2 years.
Darrell, why the particular concern about the right rear?
Well, these cars turn off the right rear. Used to back in the day, we turned off the right front. That right front would go in the corner, dig, and you'd cut the corner off the right front. These cars, the way they're built today, aero package and everything, the right rear spring does all the work. The right rear tire does all the work.
Which tells me also they've got Brian Vickers' 55 car turning good. It's still maybe a little on the free side. Probably another reason he's worried about that right rear.
Yeah, and what it's really done for Vickers, though, is he's been able to run high, which most time when your tires go away you do, but also see him get down on the bottom when he has to.
So we're about 40 to 50 laps from pit stops in the Food City 500. 205 complete in Thunder Valley.